So today I'm hanging around with the one and only Mwenesi Musalia, right?
That's right.
Yes, welcome to our show.
Asante.
Yes, who's Musalia?
I am an image consultant and also a communication specialist. I run 2 organizations, but I also consult for numerous businesses, both in Kenya and around the world.
Oh, okay, so it's a good day for you ladies, but I can tell you he is taken. So you gotta stay tuned and let's make the conversation moving. And inshallah, keep on tweeting. And remember, the SMS number is 22162 ukianza na neno An-Nasheed. Usisahau jina lako na vile vile sehemu unayotoka. Pia tuma maswali yako ambayo unataka ya mwende Mwenesi. So Mwenesi, talk about the importance of branding. Why do you do it and why do you think it's important?
Branding is the mark that you leave on someone, if it is you who's involved in branding, or the mark that is left in the minds of whether it is a group of people like a target market or just the public at large. But a brand is a mark. It is the mark that you leave on someone. And you can leave a mark on someone by how you interact with them and how you impact their 5 senses. And the 5 senses tunazijua. Touch, taste, smell, sight, and hearing. So if you're able to leave a mark on someone in any of those ways, and you leave it consistently over time, then you will consider yourself to have created a brand.
Okay, what motivated you to be an image consultancy? Since you studied law,
yes,
and but you're doing something different.
If you think about it, lawyers are actually marketers, because it's the process of convincing. You have to convince someone based on evidence, based on circumstances, and that process of convincing, what I realized studying law and both working in the marketing field, that if you're going to convince someone, you have to look the part, number one. Number two, whatever you're convincing them about needs to make sense to them. It needs to look the part to them. So in their mind, the mark has to be left in their mind. And so because I started being very interested kwa hii mambo ya kuconvince watu, I started actively looking and studying what it takes to convince people in a certain way. And what I realized is that the image that you put out, the brand that you put out, however you're impacting their minds, goes a long way in making people believe what you have to offer, because they say one thing in branding: perception is reality. And once people perceive something, then it is considered real, atakama it's not really real. But for me, I'm looking at it from the point of being able to convince people to do what it is that you want them to do.
So do you think that the youths do that for themselves, like in matters of presenting themselves out there?
So, and again, if I can take that theme of convincing, some youths are, yes, very convincing in how they portray themselves. Lakini, you also have to consider who are influencing these youth in wherever they live, wherever they go to school, wherever they, yani kwa mtaa. So many factors come into play when you think about the youth and where they draw their influences from: their culture, their society, their family, their friends, the role models, the celebrities that they look at. Lakini kwa what I think is important, kitu cha muhimu ni to make sure that as a youth you are very focused on your objective and what it is that you want to accomplish for yourself. So for example, if you want to go into a certain career or a certain profession or achieve certain things, lazima uangalie, you have to look at what are the things that those people in that industry are doing. How are they dressing? How are they behaving? How are they putting themselves across? And do you want to then go according to that, or do you want to challenge the status quo?
Okay, so tell me about a time you had to convince someone on whatever work you're doing and made sure that amefuata venye umemwambia.
I remember when I was in university, someone approached me and gave me a red T-shirt. It was for a certain ice cream brand. And they told me, all you have to do is wear this red T-shirt and go and sell this ice cream in a supermarket. But in that moment, on top of putting on the red T-shirt, I also had like a few extra things, a bracelet and some accessories, just so that I could be a bit extra. And when I was there, now that feeling of being extra helped me it changed my whole attitude, my mood, my confidence, to the point where now it wasn't me wearing someone else's uniform to go and present and sell a product, but it became now me identifying with myself, owning that thing, and now when I went to do that promotion, I absolutely killed it. And so people now, they were seeing the attitude and the confidence that I had as opposed to what I was wearing. What you put on, how you put it on, how you carry yourself when you've put it on is what makes the difference.
So one has to be bold in everything?
Kabisa, kujiamini ni muhimu. It's very important to be confident. And you cannot carry, me and you can wear the same thing. Okay, maybe not me and you, but let's say me and another guy. You know, if we put on the exact same clothes, how I will carry myself and versus how he will carry himself will make the difference in whether we're to be taken seriously and whether one of us will leave that mark or not and create a brand, a lasting impression.
And so what are your thoughts in Muslims branding themselves, be it the youths or the adults?
It's very important, especially in our country. You know, we as Muslims are the minority. So it's important to stand out. It's important that we create a lasting impression. And of course, beyond the good values and the morals that we practice, the adab, the behavior, the way we carry ourselves as Muslims so that people can relate to us, it's important that we also package ourselves in a way that makes us as appealing and as acceptable as possible to the rest of society. I'm not saying we should change who we are as Muslims. I'm saying that it is important that we stand out. We're not afraid to put ourselves out there and to be confident in our own abilities. And mashallah, there are a lot of strong Muslim role models who are putting themselves out there, like yourself and others, but we need more. We need more Muslims to not be suppressed and stay in the background. We need to put ourselves out there so that even the younger generation and the children can see that they have role models that they can look up to.
Okay, now this thing of wearing kanzus and everything, you know, not just like the Saudis do it, it's like their modern way of dressing,
Yes.
and it's an everyday thing. So how Kenyans perceive it, it's very different. Like ukiona, especially the youths, ukiona msia amevaa kanzu, you know, mtu mwingine atasema, ule anajifanya sheikh, you know. What do you think about that?
Sasa kwa hiyo, I think, you know, wearing a kanzu is a fashion statement. In fact, in this country, mashallah, we're very blessed because even the government recognizes it as official dress. You know, kanzus and buibuis are recognized as official dress. So we shouldn't be afraid. We shouldn't feel like this is something that is counterproductive. It's part of our heritage and our identity. Lazima tujivunie kama Waislamu, and once you put on a kanzu, you are perceived as being a Muslim, and that's something that if we can all allow ourselves to be identified as Muslims, that's the first step in standing out. Of course, there'll be moments where you need to dress in a suit and a tie to go and present in a boardroom. Lakini, if you are a Muslim and you want to carry yourself in that sense, it's a projection of your identity, and if you can carry it confidently, then the rest of the world will be able to take it in, and they will see it. Even if they brand you as a Muslim, however you carry yourself will make the difference, whether it's a positive or a negative brand.
Okay, and do you deal with Muslims? I mean, the type of customers you're dealing with. Unaweza sema the number of Muslims wako juu ama the number of other faiths wako juu?
Kwa sasa, because again, like I mentioned, Kenya, as we know it, is a primarily not a Muslim country. So majority of my clients are not Muslim. However, in my circles and in my surroundings, I interact with a lot of Muslim designers, a lot of Muslim media personalities and people who are in that space. And so I try and encourage even the community, the Muslim community that I'm in, to try and do certain things that will elevate and enhance their image. So for the most part, although majority of my clients are not Muslim, I still have a big responsibility for the community to try and see how we can advance and better ourselves in terms of the image that we're putting out there.
Okay, and what do you think of this kind of designs, the kanzus? Because we are far from putting on the white thobes. Saa hizi imekuwa, it's like a trend. Kuna different type of colors na nini designs. So can you design any thobe in a different way apart from what you used to see?
Well, as long as it fits in with the Quran and the Sunnah, then I don't think there's a problem. I know that certain colors, you know, like for example, yellow, pure yellow is not really encouraged. And so it's important that we go back to what is fundamental to us as Muslims. Not to behave fundamentalist, but also to take note that as much as we want to, create a bit of style and expression and accessorize the dress and the kanzus that we wear, we must still stay true to what is correct and what is considered proper as far as the Quran and Sunnah is concerned.
Oh, so I can say, my youths mnasikia, you don't have to be on that swaga ya kushika jeans and stuff. You can still put on a kanzu and you'll just be flexing venye unataka and everything. So back to you, Musalia. What are the challenges you foresee in your work?
Well, the work that I do of image consulting from a corporate and an individual level is not very mainstream in Kenya at the moment. And so there are a few people who are purely stylists, there are a few people who are purely personal branding people, there are a few people who are purely public relations, and then there are a few who are motivational and internal self-development. Now my business looks at all of those aspects, the public relations side, the image side, the personal branding side, and the styling side as well. So because it's new, trying to convince people about the importance of having to have an image consultant, I think that is the biggest challenge that I'm facing. But they say that fortune favors the brave. So if you can be brave enough to chart a new territory and create a new path, then inshallah your efforts will be rewarded. So I'm hoping for that.
Okay, inshallah. And I wish ingekuwa umekuja na kanzu hapo katuonesha how you look. I thought you'll be on a kanzu, but anyhow, it's I never expected that because I'm used to you wearing or pulling out such looks. And what motivates you to have such kind of looks? So I'm heavily influenced by Western culture, just by virtue of the fact that my influences and the schools that I went to and the people that I used to hang out with growing up were that way inclined. And most recently, because of how I got interested in image and packaging and marketing and that kind of thing, I started subscribing to a few of these global fashion magazines like GQ, Men's Health and things like that. So it's not just what you put on, but also how you carry yourself. Are you a gentleman? Aspects to do with your health, exercising, staying in shape, being clean, hygiene, grooming, all of those things. So I'm influenced by all of that. And like I said, once you're able to put forward an image that makes people comfortable to be around you, then it makes life so much easier. People want to be around you and they want to deal with you. Even things so far as being happy. Kuna vile ukiwa mtu anasema sura ya ndimu. If you're just always just sour, grumpy and sour, people don't want to be around you. So you could be in the most amazing suit, you could look the part, well dressed, groomed, but if you're just like sour, people don't want to be around you. So there are all of those aspects that you have to think about when you're putting yourself together. So okay, so tumezungumzia sana kuhusu vijana, hata sisi madem tunamata. So what do you think about females pulling out their looks? We also rock in our hijabs and habayas and other dresses. So what do you think you can advise Muslim sisters who are watching us right now?
Carry yourself with confidence. Mashallah, we've been blessed with very beautiful ladies, and most of the time, sometimes you feel like you need to conform to the Western way of dressing. You need to do certain things and forgo your own Islamic identity. And what I'm saying is that your image and how you brand yourself, it all starts here. It starts with the kind of image that you want for yourself. What objective do you want for yourself? And planning your life and making sure that you look beyond just today is very important, both for guys and for ladies. Lakini for me, the most important thing ni kujiamini. I'm not saying being arrogant. I'm talking about confidence in yourself. We all have different body types. We all have different skin tones, skin colors, things like that. The proportions of our bodies are different, our faces, our noses, whatever it is. And if you can find a way to own it and love yourself, then that shines through. And I can tell you, the most attractive quality about anybody is the confidence and the happiness that they're able to project. So feel happy and confident in your skin, and then whatever it is that you want to put out there, kama ni habaya, kama ni buibui, or whatever it is, carry it with confidence, and you will see that the world will respond.
Okay, what do you think is about the future of Islamic fashion? Unaona tunaelekea wapi? Ama do you think we are moving forward to having bigger things than what we are doing right now?
I'll tell you, one thing that I've been very encouraged about is we're going back to an era of not minimalism, lakini I can see in the future people will start to go back to like the way it was, you know, siku za masahaba, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And those, what will then start to happen is the more people start to own that identity, it can become a fashion trend in and of itself. That's what I'm seeing now. You know, growing up in the 90s, we never really had many, our parents and their generation. I'm speaking for myself growing up in Nairobi. The number of people that you would see wearing kanzus compared to now, it wasn't that much then. Now, mashallah, I'm seeing a lot of the youth and men and ladies are feeling more and more confident, because I think maybe we're more of us, and the Islamic fashion trend, although now we have more accessories, I can see, you know, with the gold and the different designs and patterns, you'll see that as fashion trends change, people will go from minimalism to extreme, to accessorizing, to minimalist again. Fashion is one of those things that is always changing. It just has to do with whether we as Muslims are ready to own that identity and to carry it forward. You know, things like keeping a beard and maintaining our unique identity. Whatever the fashion trend is, I hope that we as Muslims will continue to own that in whatever aspects of life that we'll be in.
Okay, so ungependa kuambia nini youths ambao wanatusikiliza, na vile vile give us your social media handles, and ladies, let it be professional.
Cha msingi ni kujiamini. It's very important to carry yourself with confidence, believe in yourself. You know, Allah has put us here for a purpose, so it's important that we do not neglect that purpose. We need to be able to look within ourselves, carry ourselves with confidence, and whatever you're putting for yourself out there, whether it's how you dress, how you speak, how you talk, make sure that you're projecting the right image that will carry you forward and make you successful. Inshallah, my social media handles for Facebook. I actually have a small segment. It's called Get Yours with Mwenesi, where I try and give a few tips on how to behave, how to dress, etiquette, and things like that. And on Instagram, it's Mr. Mwenesi. Same thing on Twitter as well. Okay, so I'll thank you for being here with me, and asante sana mtazamaji kuungana nasi katika mazungumzo yetu na Mwenesi, and inshallah I hope you take note. You have to flex and rock in your own way, Islamic fashion way, and inshallah Mwenyezi Mungu atakureward in whatever you do. Amen. And let's meet next Friday. I was your host Nasra Nuren, and this is Y254. We covered, we draped up. Aliyah Sharif. You never gon' phase us. My girls ride. We still get this paper. My girls ride. You mad so you hate us. Every city my girls we rock. Every city my girls we rock. We rock. Every city my girls we rock. Every city my girls we rock. We rock. Every city my girls we rock. Every city my girls we rock. Every city my girls we rock. Every city my girls.